So if you have a off-plan or an untracked meal within your nutrition program, or you want to go and eat out, knowing that it's probably going to be above your calories or what have you, how the hell do you approach it? Now, one of the main things that I see people do as they lead up to going out for a meal out or having like an off-plan untracked meal is they will massively restrict leading up to the meal because they think that's the right thing to do. Because if I restrict my calories, then that means I've got more food for later, so my energy balance is going to be equal and I'm not going to gain loads and loads of weight. I completely understand that logic and rationale, and that's what I used to do. The issue with doing that is, number one, it creates the relationship in your head that you have to restrict and deprive yourself in order to earn those sort of foods, and that should not be the case. And that creates that kind of all or nothing, over restrict, pull back mentality, which we don't want to have, because it creates a very negative relationship with those kinds of foods. It makes you feel sort of guilt and shame and negative emotions because you have to earn them, and we don't want to be in that position. And secondly, if you deprive yourself all day, so let's say for example your meal out is in the evening at 6-7 o'clock, you don't really eat throughout the day, or you completely fast or restrict yourself all day, you are going to go into that meal starving hungry, which means your choices are not going to be mindful, they're not going to be aligned. Because if you go to a meal with substantial hunger, you'll actually pick the foods that you want, you will eat more in line with your hunger signals and cues, whereas if you go in ravenous, you'll probably over order because you're like, oh, I'm so hungry, I'm just gonna order this, this and this and this, because all you're thinking about is food and consuming food. You'll probably eat a lot faster than usual because you are so hungry. And when you eat quickly, your body doesn't get the signals to its brain that it is full. It takes time, which is why I say to my clients, eat slowly, eat mindfully, because it can take quite a good amount of time for your brain to register from the hormonal signals that it sends to the brain that you are full. So if you're rapidly eating, you may actually eat beyond the point of fullness and overconsume because your body hasn't actually registered that you are full. So you're more likely to overeat. In that instance, then you are more likely to potentially gain weight from the off-plan meal. You are also more likely to run into sort of digestive issues such as bloating and just feeling all around really lethargic and crap because you haven't actually digested that food properly, again, which creates a very negative mentality and thought process around the off-plan eating. So in terms of how to actually approach it, what I would do is, yes, if you want to save more calories for that meal that day, that is not an issue, but spread those out across your day, so don't eat dust all day. So let's say, for example, your calories are 2,000 and you want to eat within your calories, so you save 1,000 calories for your meal out, which is plenty. You know, that would get you a pizza, that would get you a burger and chips, that would get you like a chicken dish and like chicken and rice dish and maybe like a small dessert, so there's plenty there. So then you would split your 1,000 calories throughout the day. So have breakfast, have lunch, and have like a pre-going out snack. And one of the best bits of advice I can give is sort of 2 hours before you go out for the meal or before you have the meal, is just have a small protein serving, because that's going to keep you satiated and full and mean that your choices are much more aligned and you're actually choosing what you want and you're not just choosing out of pure ravenous hungry. So don't over deprive yourself, don't over restrict yourself leading into it. Now afterwards as well, don't feel like you need to compensate, because again, one, it creates that very negative relationship that you have to burn off that food and you have to earn that food. And secondly, the fact of the matter is, you probably, you know, if it's for damage control, you're not going to want to do it, because if you overeat by 800 calories, going and doing an hour's cardio to burn it off, you're only going to burn off about 300. So if you want to go and utilize the fact that you feel more energized and go and have an extra training session, or you know, go for a walk because you feel so good, yeah, do it. Put that fuel into your sessions, but don't do it out of compulsion and feeling that you have to earn it, because it's only going to worsen your relationship with food in the long run. So that is how I would approach off-plan meals in terms of leading up to it and how to approach it afterwards.